grease. This will kill any bacteria that can make your chicken sick. You'll find more tips and recipes for making block treats at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
The MLB Speedway Classic is coming to Bristol Motor Speedway in 2025. And you can be first in line to access tickets to the historic game between the Braves and Reds. Purchase tickets for the Bass Pro Shops night race on Saturday, September 21st. And you'll be part of the exclusive pre-sale for baseball at Bristol, starting Monday, September 16th. Grab night race tickets today and lock in your spot for baseball at Bristol, baby.
Hi, folks. Greg, your friendly garden guy here at Willow Ridge Garden Center in Oak Ridge. Did you know that we have expanded our selection of bulk hard goods for your yard? We have the finest hardwood bark mulch as well as dyed black mulch. We have a great selection of river products like 6 to 18 inch, 2 to 5 inch, and 1 to 2 inch river rock, as well as pea gravel, garden pathway gravel, and masonry construction sand. If it's limestone you're looking for, we have number 57 half-inch driveway gravel, crusher run, and limestone fines number 10. We have mushroom compost, and our topsoil is in a covered barn so it doesn't get rained on. We have wheat straw and long needle pine straw. So, you don't have a truck or need more than your truck can haul? We deliver. Call today, 865-481-3825 to set up your delivery. And remember, get your hands dirty. It's good for you.
Today's Daily Encouragement by William the Encourager, sponsored by Ted Russell Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty on Kingston Pike.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and let's just praise the Lord. First and foremost, let's pray. Father, we thank you for this Monday. We thank you for waking us up clothed and in our right minds. Father, we thank you for your goodness, your mercy, your grace. We thank you for your provision that you give us on a daily basis. And thank you that your mercies are made new every day. So we give you the glory, the honor, and the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. You know, we're going to talk about what it means to do not fear. You know, and we need to understand this. Fear is a natural response to challenges or the unknown. It's an emotion that serves a valuable purpose. Think flight or fight response. But it can quickly become unhealthy when it paralyzes us or propels us into frantic behavior. Negative outcomes aside, the Bible actually commands us not to be afraid. In fact, there are over 300 variations of the command to fear not throughout scriptures. And as we all know, 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." So, my brothers and sisters, let's remember that. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power. When you think of that power, God gives you the power to overcome the enemy. God gives you the power to overcome those negative self-thoughts and those rambling going on about this is going to happen, that is going to happen. The Bible tells us to be anxious for nothing. So God has given us a spirit of power and of love, to love ourselves, to love others, and self-control. We can control those thoughts. We just have to take authority over them and cast them out. You know, fear, the acronym FEAR, false evidence appearing real. God has not given you the spirit of fear, but he has given you the spirit of power and love and of a sound mind. Fear, my friends, is a liar. And we're going to talk about that all week. Fear is a liar. Rudyard Kipling said, "Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears." Be careful what your mind tells you, because we can think things that are not true. But you know, on this Monday morning, brothers and sisters, you can stand on the promises of God. You can stand. You know, Oswald Chambers said, the remarkable thing about God is that when you fear God, you fear nothing else. Whereas if you do not fear God, you fear everything else. So let's fear God. Let's have a godly fear and a godly reverence for him. And then you don't have to worry about anything else knocking you off your square or anything else causing you to run, because you don't have to. Remember, we can do all things through Christ, which strengthens us. You know, you have to choose what you believe, because fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. This is your choice. So today I choose to face everything and rise, because God has the final say-so on what happens to you in your life. So let's seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto us, my brothers and sisters. God don't want us to fear. He wants us to have faith. Let your faith be bigger than your fears, and that way you will know that Jesus Christ is Lord. Remember, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Our phone lines are open and available and
This is
ready.
Jim Miller with
Jim.
WYSH Local Information News. Remember, if you see news happen, email me, jim@WYSHradio.com, or message us on the WYSH Facebook page. Each day, we bring you the latest in local news. David Aldrich, Captain Accurate, has your weather forecast, and Pete Michaels is in the sky with your traffic. So we've got you covered, and if you see news happen, let us know. Your source for local information news since 1960, WYSH.
Hey guys, it's Mark from Rusty Wallace Hyundai. We're getting ready to move into our brand new store, and we have to sell 100 new Hyundais this month to make room. We have new Santa Cruz starting at $25,900, or take your choice of a new Tucson or new Sonata starting at only $26,900. And all new Hyundais come with America's best warranty of 10 years, 200,000 miles, and 3 years free maintenance. So check us out online at RustyWallaceHyundai.com, because it's always a fun day at Rusty Wallace Hyundai.
See dealer for details.
There we go. Good morning, everybody. What a great day it is so far. Beautiful day cooking for us outside the studios here at the Radio Ranch. I hope your day is good. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. What an amazing weekend for the Tennessee Volunteers. Just if you're a fan, you're excited. It was, great game. Someone asked, is Kent State that bad, or are we that good? I think it was a bit of both, right? But, man, what a fantastic game. And then locally, did you guys listen to Dragons? Dragons took care of business, only letting Campbell County put up 7 points. Good defense. Offense did what it needed to do. That win, I think, gives Clinton about an 80% chance of being in the playoffs. That's very positive. And the guys, the team, they seem to be excited and seem to be, there's a lot of enthusiasm. There's a lot of excitement around the program right now. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention James David. First I want to say thank you to Jasper because James David didn't have a ride. Jasper gave him a ride, and I appreciate that so much, so that he could participate in the game and work. He did. I think he did good. Jim Hollingsworth let him do a little bit of color toward the end of the game, and he's 14 and he's learning. And of course, it makes me proud to listen to him. I'm proud Trey marching in the band this weekend. We didn't get to go over and see it, but it's going to be. Man alive. What do you guys think about the game coming up this week? Tennessee and Oklahoma. Where's Jasper? Jasper, are you here? I don't know if he's in the building or if he's already out, but that's going to be something. Oklahoma's, I think, coming in number 15. The Vols are number 6 now. This will be the first big test. North Carolina State, NC was a test, right? Different caliber ball team than the others we've played. Not the caliber that we're getting ready to play. So that will be interesting. Of course, be remiss if you don't talk about some of the other things. I mean, I love talking about football, sports, and my kids anytime y'all want to. But, here we have a second assassination attempt on a former president within 63 days, 2 months. In the most elite, policing protection agency I think ever created with the Secret Service. I have no idea how such a esteemed agency could fall so very far in their planning or duties or execute. I don't know where the problem is. Obviously, it's not on the ground because the men and women of the Secret Service on the ground yesterday performed amazingly, but in the planning or in the, I don't know how they do their thing. There's probably police officers out there listening that understand it much better than I do, but they cordon off areas where the president or vice president's going to be, and they set those parameters based on keeping them out of range of gunfire, things like that. And then the sheriff there in Miami, at Palm Beach, said, he's not the president, so he doesn't have the same detail as the president. If he did, we'd have had the whole course shut down. I think after this, that the former president needs the same accompaniment as if a sitting president. That's what I think. But, and we don't know the extent of the person that tried to do it. We don't know their reasoning. They say they're not talking. We'll find out. But we do know without any question that there were already threats against President Trump's life from Iran, and I don't know if this is something that stems from that, or if this is just another. They haven't said anything about the first guy that tried to kill him. We don't know if he was attached to Iran. We don't know what he was. They haven't released anything, at least yesterday, because local police were more heavily involved. We got information quick, but it's still scary. And I think people forget sometimes, he's Trump and he's presidential candidate. But I think people forget he's also a husband. He's also a dad. He's a granddad. And to those people, yeah, he's the president, but he's a whole lot more in that he's their family. And to have to sit back and worry about that all the time. Could you imagine if that was your grandfather, your son, your dad, and couldn't even go play around a golf at his own golf course without somebody with an AK-47 and a plot to kill him. A lot of people would just hole up in the basement, and never come out. I don't know. That doesn't sound a whole lot like Trump. I have a feeling he'll keep doing his thing. But, how many more times is it going to take for somebody to take a shot at him or try to take a shot at him before they can tighten up the security to a point to prevent that? I don't know that you could ever completely prevent it on a golf course, but I do know that being between 225 feet and 300 yards is too close, because that's just a chip shot for somebody that can use a rifle like that easily. So, scary times. Again, I don't know what this world's coming to. I'll tell you this. You guys call him Hitler, and he's going to tear up the Constitution. He's going to ruin the Supreme Court. All of this hate talk is just simple gasoline for those that already have mental instability, those that want to make a name for themselves. I mean, if you think about this in these terms, when they call him Hitler, Hitler-esque, all this other stuff. Now, you think about that, somebody that thinks, man, if someone would have just stopped Hitler before he did all these terrible things, the world would be so much better, and it would be. But that's the same thing that now you've got people, the unbalanced people, thinking about Trump. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly, in so much as he's already served as the leader of the free world once, and we didn't have any democracy problems. Democracy worked exactly the way it was supposed to. And just because he challenged the election, just because he pointed out inconsistencies in the election, which I believe to be true, but even if they weren't, even if he just thought it, pointing those out, asking the questions, does not make him, the destroyer of democracy. And you'll get wish the guy would have got a shot off. There's already terrible stuff out there on social media, wishing the guy would have killed him and the other guy should have been a better shot. I just say to you all saying that, be very careful what you put out there in the world, because that kind of stuff, a lot of people call it karma. And those of us that are Christians raised in church that are believers know that you can call it karma, fine. But it's very simple. That which you sow, so shall you reap. It's simple. I know. I have reaped some wonderful, wonderful things in my life, and I have reaped some terrible things in my life, all based on what I sowed. Now, be careful when you're out there sowing seeds to encourage people to try and kill Hitler, as you brand Trump that type of person. Because that which you sow, so shall you reap. And you would definitely hate for someone to take that kind of stance at your kid, your son, your grandfather, your husband, wife. You would hate for people to be out there, even the crazy ones, inciting other crazy ones to commit violence, do stupid stuff. So please stop. I mean, as ineffective and out of the limelight Joe Biden was, I've not heard anybody call for any violence to him. I've not heard anybody call him Hitler-esque. I've not heard anybody say he or Kamala is going to destroy the democracy. I don't think that the way that they see the United States and the things they want to do are what I would see the United States as, or what I want to do. But that's why we have the democratic process, because people like me can vote for Trump and people like the others can vote for her. If that's what you want, that's the way you want the world to roll, then you go vote. You don't try to shoot and kill them. I mean, when Bobby Kennedy was in the race, they didn't even allow him Secret Service coverage. They finally gave him some after the first assassination attempt on Trump. Now, I don't know where he stands as now not a candidate. You know? I don't know if he still has it or not. We've got to protect our high-ranking elected officials. And we've got an agency to do that, to do just that. If it needs funding, fund it. I heard somebody talking about how the budget was tight and they already get 3-point-some billion. And this is right after we just decided to send another, we've sent $100 billion so far to Ukraine. Now think about this. If the president of the United States gets shot, and that's who is, leading the charge to allocate money or whatever to Ukraine, again, if we're not healthy, they're not going to be healthy. I'm not saying defund it or not do it. I'm just saying when you say you don't have enough money to protect a former president, or in this case, they say the Secret Service is so stretched thin and so disoriented, some of the people haven't even passed their test to be there and are there. If we can't afford to take care of our own, the leader of the free world, former leader, possible next leader, current leader, whatever, they're not saying just Trump's Secret Service is inferior. They're saying Secret Service in general is inferior, that they are having some terrible things. They say the report that's getting ready to come out is going to be appalling and going to make people just absolutely furious. And that was a Democrat that's heading up the investigation, or part of the investigation. I don't know. We can do better. We can do better. The rhetoric has to turn down. I think it was absolutely amazing that the Secret Service, if you saw the report, there is a line of shrubbery, hedges, if you will, and inside of those hedges are kind of against them. There's a chain link fence, and the person was behind the fence, behind the shrubbery, had his bags hanging on the fence, GoPro on the fence, he was going to video it all. And from the reports I've heard, there was about 3 inches of his barrel of that AK-47 sticking out of the shrubs. And the advanced team, there's a team that goes ahead of when the president's playing golf. There's a team 1 or 2 holes ahead of him, and that's what they do. They clear it. They clear the course as he comes. And then there's one with him and one behind him. And the men and the women that were ahead of him to see that, I mean, that was spot on, man. And then hats off to whoever the resident was, the witness was, that saw the guy run away, had the soundness of mind to take a picture, get the license plate number. Because had he not, I don't know that, we would not have caught the perpetrator that quick, without question. But you got to ask yourself, if he didn't, would the Secret Service have been able to find? I mean, would they have known he left in a black car? Would they have known he ran away? Would they have known his license plate number? I don't know if they'd have found all that eventually or not. But there you go. And we've got to do, I wish I knew the answer. And, somebody says fund it, more money. We're probably going to have to do that. But, money's not always the answer to everything. I think morale has a whole lot to do with it. I think morale has a lot to do with the performance of everybody, it's your job or whatever. And I don't think there's a whole lot of positive morale in the Secret Service right now. But there you go. Things can always change for the better. They can change for the worse, but they can change for the better. And it is, I think, very important that powers that be get together and try and remedy whatever the deficiency is there, or you're going to end up with an assassinated former president or presidential candidate. I don't know. Because, you know, the crazies are not just limited to the crazy liberals that want to kill Trump. There are plenty of them out there. They've identified them. They've already shot one of them in the head on a roof in Butler, and now they've got this guy. But there are crazies out there, I am sure, on the other side of the aisle. And the last thing that we want are copycats and people rising to that type of violence here in the U.S. It's scary, isn't it? I thought about it last night. I just thought about it. What would I do if that were my dad today? I would say, you know what? Dial it back a notch. Let's do the campaigns in a building or rallies in a building. But I doubt he'll do that because they can't find a building that'll hold 150,000 people. Maybe some football stadiums, but I don't know if that'd be any safer. Maybe that's what he needs to do. Start going to football stadiums and they tighten and make sure nobody can get in or above or around when he's at a football stadium. He goes to the games. I mean, he makes appearances at a lot of the games. I know he made some SEC game appearances here in the past. I don't know how they tightened that security up that tight, but it was a crazy weekend, wasn't it? At least with that. Hats off to you, Clinton Dragons, man alive. You guys did great. I'm excited for next week. I know Powell is going to be a uphill battle, but you know that's why we play them. Number of upsets so far in college football. Man, Florida State, where are they at? I got a feeling they'll have a new coach directly. Yeah, we had a couple. Memphis? How about big upsets? But I did get the opportunity to watch quite a bit of football this weekend, so that's good. It was on. Did other stuff, but it was on. All right. I'm going to hush, open the phone, see if there's anything you guys would like to talk about, ask about. I've had a number of people call me and ask me to. I'm just going to go ahead and address this too. A number of people have called and asked me, Ron, do you know who wrote you that letter? And I do not. I do not know if it was a male. I do not know if it was a female. I've had other people call and say, this is who wrote you that letter. This is this person's spouse, or this is this person's this. I don't know. I really don't. I ask the person to identify themselves to me, and I would keep it confidential, but they have not to date. But I've been a lot of interest over that. People have asked me to post it. I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to post the letter, not anonymously. I read it. I did that because I asked you guys if you wanted me to. I got 3 or 4 texts, a couple of phone calls asking me to read it, so I did. But no, I'm not going to post it unless I find out who wrote it. If I find out who wrote it, I'll note that I know who wrote it, but I'm keeping it anonymous sources. So there's that. Because I have a feeling I was going to get a question about that today. But we'll see. I'm going to open the phone lines up here. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. 865-457. We don't have to talk about anything I just talked about. You don't have to. You can talk about anything you would like to, ask anything you would like to, share anything that you would like to. If you've got good news, good things, positive, uplifting things that happen to you, you'd like to share, lift somebody else up a little bit. I'll tell you this, you don't know sometimes the difference that you make in somebody's life with just opening a door or giving a smile or saying hello, or in some cases here, calling and sharing something positive in your life that could be positive in somebody else's life. You never know. But if you feel like it, if the spirit moves you, call and share.
Rogers Group. Who are they?
Rogers Group is a family-owned business started in 1908 that operates in 7 states. Locally, they're in Oak Ridge and Campbell County.
Rogers Group. What do they do?
They offer high-quality products and services at competitive prices. They offer commercial and residential services, crushed stone, sand, gravel, asphalt paving, and road and bridge construction.
Rogers Group. Where are they?
250 Union Valley Road in Oak Ridge and at 429 Queener Road in Jacksboro.
Rogers Group, a local, family-owned, community-minded business.
Today, it seems like all businesses are being bought up by huge corporations, even body shops. Here's Barry from H&H Body Shop.
Yeah, there's a conglomerate that has come in and bought 3 of the major shops in the Knoxville area that were all local before. That's okay, but it's not the hometown stuff that folks around here expect and want. So spend your money with the local folks. We try to, and then you'll still get treated like your family, and what happens to you is important to us.
So do business with local hometown folks. No matter if your car needs an oil change or a complete color change. H&H Body Shop, 749 North Main Street in Clinton. Call 865-457-9735. H&H Body Shop, there since 1960, and there when you need them.
H&H has been around 56 years. We're Darla and Barry, and we appreciate you dealing with local hometown people that's been there and going to be there.
People just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Well, had somebody on one. 865-457-13. If you'll call me right back, I will put you right on. Okay, now let's see if we can get the connection to work here, because I was trying to get them on hold during the break and was unable to. Good morning. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor this morning.
Good morning to you, Ron Meredith.
How are you, Brother Mike?
Hey, I'm doing well this morning.
Good.
You've covered a lot of ground.
There's a lot of ground to cover.
A few minutes there. You just about laid out the whole weekend.
I tell you, there was a lot of ground to cover, buddy.
Oh gosh, I'm telling you, there it's because I feel like I've not done nothing but listen to and watch football for 3 days there.
I'm kind of the same way. I had it on all weekend. You know, I watched a few really good games.
Oh yes, sir. I might mention this too. There, you said something about the Florida State coach went undefeated last year during the regular season. They lost their starting quarterback, and they didn't get into the playoffs there because they just weren't the same team without their quarterback.
Yep.
But, they're off to a rough start. Got beat by Memphis on Saturday.
Yeah.
Which was Memphis might be a pretty good team. I don't know, but I just don't think Florida State's all that. But another coach that is, I'd say, 98% in trouble is the coach at Florida.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Yeah.
They're not playing well at all there.
No, they're not.
Haven't really been relevant there, I guess, since he's been there. But, that's from the coaching ranks anyway there. But I would like to say, I listened to WYSH there on Friday night there. That young man of yours, old James David there, but he pays attention to the games there. I thought he did a great job.
He does pay attention. He knows. He loves it, so it's natural. I mean, to him, it's like he's like getting paid to go watch a football game. He's having a ball.
Oh, he's like, well, I think the defense may need to tighten up a little bit over here, there, and all this other stuff. I thought, that Bernie's 14 years old there, and he sounds like a pro already.
Well, I'll tell you this. He's heard it all of his life. He's listened to Jim Harris do football and Walt Stair do football. Ever since he's been on this earth, he's listened to football on the radio and on the TV. So he must have picked some up somewhere.
Well, I know I listened to you last week talking about Trey there, but man, I'll just tell you, your kids and your grandkids there, they do stuff there that'll just make you so proud your eyes will water.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You better believe it. You better. They also do stuff makes me so mad my head almost wants to pop off.
Well, yeah. I understand that part of it, too, but that just comes with it there.
Yeah, it does.
You got to love them, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I was very happy, very proud to listen to Trey play and listen to James David talk.
Oh, absolutely. There. So you guys didn't get a chance to. Of course, I mean, I don't know. I think it was a little bit of both there. Tennessee that good, Kent State that bad. They weren't a very good football team. They couldn't even line up in the shotgun and center the ball back to the quarterback.
No, they had some problems.
They had problems there, and then I don't know what we were doing there. We come out there and tried an onside kick when we were already blasting them.
It's 30-0. You know what, though? After the first game, I can't remember which player it was. They said, what'd you take away from this game? He said, we're not going to take our foot off their necks. Not once. And you know what? Okay. I don't think we were unsportsmanlike either because we brought in our reserves, our second strings. Lord knows how deep we got.
I'll tell you this, too. They were up so big there. Coach Heupel there told the coach for Kent State, said, look, I'm giving you the opportunity. We'll just run a straight-through clock. It won't stop in the second half. He didn't want to do it.
No.
I thought, why?
Yeah.
Because they could have hung 120 points on them if they wanted to.
They could have. And, in fact, at one point I thought he's going for 100. He's going to go for 100 points. That's what I thought. Until we started putting some of the backups in, and you could see that they were, putting the brakes on. They weren't, when those kids get in, it doesn't matter. 71-0, and you get to go in, and you're a backup quarterback or backup receiver. You don't care. You want to catch the ball and run.
Want to show what you got.
Yeah, and so that's why I said I don't think for one second that we were unsportsmanlike. I mean, if you hand me the ball and I can run from here to the end zone and score, I'm going to run and do it.
You're not going to lay down on it. That's another thing, too, that I didn't even realize there. But they almost they had Peyton Lewis, the other backup running back. If he'd had one more yard, Tennessee would have had 3 100-yard rushers in that game.
Holy cow. I didn't realize that.
He had 99 yards. He needed one more yard. And I don't know that's ever been done before.
I can't remember us hanging that many points on somebody and them not scoring anything. I can't remember the last time we scored 71 points.
Oh, I know it. I don't think I do either.
I mean, I thought the 69 was big, 69-3. Here we go, 71. Let's see what's going to happen next time. Holy cow, we have to be the highest scoring team in the SEC.
Probably almost in the country, I would think.
Probably.
But I do think that they will. They'll get they should be getting a test this coming Saturday.
I agree.
Out in Norman, Oklahoma, because they'll be playing in front of a hostile crowd out there. Oklahoma. I don't remember exactly what it is there, but in the last 3 or 4 years there, they've got a heck of a record when they're playing at home and at night.
Yeah.
And, I don't even remember. One of the last road games we won there against a top-notch club was at LSU, but it was during the daytime there. Them Cajuns, they get juiced up.
Oh, yeah.
Time a night game comes around.
It's called Death Valley for a reason.
For a reason. That's exactly right.
Yeah, they're ready.
But I watched Oklahoma on Saturday. They don't look like as good as they used to be, but I mean, it's going to be a test for. We'll know where we stand after next Saturday night. There, just if we're that good or what.
I know that I feel like our defense is phenomenal right now.
They're strong.
I agree, and I've had some people say, well, we've not had to go up against anybody yet. They're just men, you know what I mean?
Right.
One of our guys, or boys for that matter, one of our guys, 250-pound lineman, one of their guys, 250-pound lineman. It's who pulls their job off better, who has learned to do it better. And it just seems like our defense has gelled very well as a team, and that we're hitting all the fundamentals. We're not making huge mistakes, you know. You didn't see a lot of encroachment. You didn't see, you know, personal fouls. I mean, we had some problems, but we're doing good.
They're disciplined, and I guess another big thing is that something that we've not had a lot of in the past is depth. They've got a lot of depth on that team.
Yeah. Who was I watching this weekend? Was it Oklahoma? I can't remember. Has the 17-year-old? Have you seen that receiver?
I did see that. He's like the youngest player in
college football.
Yeah.
He's 17, supposed to be a senior in high school, and he was set to be in the recruiting class of next year, right?
Yep.
And somehow I can't remember what they said, but they changed the status. He's 17 years old and playing college football and scoring touchdowns all over the place.
Yeah.
He's an amazing receiver.
He's a wide receiver.
Yes, he's a wide receiver. It's amazing.
But he's fast.
Is it Georgia?
Gosh,
I don't know if it's the Georgia-Kentucky game. I can't remember. I was impressed with him, though.
Yeah, well, Georgia didn't exactly set the woods on fire Saturday in Lexington there. That game probably could have went either way.
Yep. Yeah, I'm telling you, is watching everybody else play, watching us play, we have got I've heard a number of commentators this weekend say they think Tennessee is going to be national champion contenders.
Oh, wow. Man, I'd be through the roof if that happened there. I never thought I'd live long enough to, of course, I've coached baseball for 30 years there, but I never thought Tennessee would win a college World Series. I was through the roof like that. But, man, if we could win a football championship from Tennessee, too, man, I'd say, gosh, my life's complete.
Well, I agree. I remember when we won in '98. I remember how excited it was. I actually had tickets to the Fiesta Bowl. Had a friend down there. His name was Doug Nick. And Doug worked with me in Phoenix, Arizona. And then he got out of radio and went into politics. And he was one of the head chiefs of staff for Senator John McCain. And this was back in '98.
98, yep.
And so I called and I said, "Can you get me tickets?" Because everybody said they were going to be sold out, right?
Yeah.
So he said, "Yeah, I can get you some if you are for sure going to make it." And I can't remember what the travel. I couldn't travel. I couldn't get there. Couldn't get somebody to work. I can't remember what it was, so I didn't go. But boy, I wish I would have.
Oh yeah, that was and of course back in the day there, I would, you know, I'd watch them on TV, but I'd have the volume turned down because nobody could broadcast the game like John Ward,
Absolutely.
And that was his last game too.
Absolutely. I've told the story. You guys probably heard it before, but when I was a junior in high school, I was a senior in high school. A friend of mine was in the band. She was in the flag corps, and invited me over to see the game. And we went at 7 a.m. in the morning. They do their full walkthrough rehearsal, right?
Okay.
So I got to go in and watch that, and I just walked up, partially up into the stands. I was the only person in Neyland Stadium. Just me and the band, right?
Okay.
So I'm sitting there watching them, and I hear somebody clumping behind me, kind of, and I turn and look, and there's a guy. I didn't really pay attention, but he came down, and I was sitting about 10 seats in from the edge. I just walked in and sat down, and he walked over and just sat down. I mean, arm's length from me. And I turned around, and it was John Ward.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he said they were playing, I can't remember, probably the Tennessee Waltz. He said, "Never gets old hearing that, does it?" And I said, "No." And I introduced myself to him. I was there. I had a press pass at the time, too. So we talked a little bit about radio and just talked about the baby. I got to sit there for maybe 10 minutes and just have a conversation with John Ward. He was there getting ready for the game, getting all his ducks in a row. It was a 12:30 game. It was an early game, but I'll never forget that, getting to sit there and have a conversation with him. And years later, he came up and spoke at the Campbell County Chamber of Commerce prayer breakfast. And I got to go up there. And I, of course, now I'm an adult, I own a radio station. And I asked him if he remembered it. He said that he did, but I don't think he did.
Okay, then.
But anyway.
Well, he's what everybody calls in my eyes, and probably a lot of others. He's the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I agree. He is the voice of the Vols. Yeah. Nothing against Bob Kessling. I love Bob, but yeah,
he's not John Ward.
He's not John Ward, exactly.
But anyway, before, used to now, back in the days there, younger days there, you couldn't find the balls on TV every weekend.
You're right.
But I've spent many Saturdays on the lake fishing with a good friend of mine there. He's passed away now, but we would listen to John Ward, and I don't know if you remember a guy named Leonard Toasties.
Oh yeah, Leonard's Losers.
Leonard's Losers. That was we'd listen to all of that there prior to the game there, but that was he would. I don't know. John Ward just always made me feel like I was there at the game.
Yep. You could almost feel the weather.
You could.
It's a crisp day at Neyland Stadium. He was very descriptive about that for sure, and he was as passionate about it as the coaches or any fan.
Oh yeah, and then when he would describe the forming of the giant T there, and then before you know it, it's football in Tennessee.
Absolutely, yeah, it's great.
It was. Sure enough was there, but change subject a little bit there. I was, what was I watching? No, I like watching the Red Zone
okay.
On Sunday there, because you can, all the NFL games, when they're in scoring range there, they flip around to the team that's, maybe getting ready to score.
Yes.
And I seen that come across there, and I thought, what the heck? Another assassination attempt on her former president?
Yeah.
I was like, you got to be kidding me.
No, 63 days apart.
You can't even go play around the golf on your own golf course.
And when it happened in Butler, we all, said, holy cow, how can that happen? And they've went through and told us some of the mistakes and some of the problems. And we said, okay, cool. But you would not have thought, I would have bet as much money as you wanted to bet, that they wouldn't let that happen in a million years to this man again, because it already looked fishy. It already looked conspiracy. It already looked like they just simply invited people in that wanted to shoot him. They didn't even check him. A guy come carrying a gun in. I mean, you can see him walking across the field. So it already had terrible implications. So you would think they would have doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down to make sure this doesn't happen again to this man, simply because we want to protect him. He might be the president, but also because we made such a big faux pas the last time. And for this guy to be able to be anywhere from 225 feet to 300 yards, depends on who you ask. The road is close, the hedge, we still don't know all the details, but he was close enough that they call that a chip shot, a layup. That's an easy shot to make with an AK-47 from that length. Had he had the opportunity to take the shot, the Secret Service engaged him, and by engaging, they saw him with a gun and shot at him, and he took off running. But and luckily they did do that. But I don't know how you get that close to a former president. I don't know how you get close to anybody with an AK-47, 2 backpacks, and a GoPro. Somebody had to see that.
You would think so. I don't know that, the final reports there hadn't come out on the Secret Service from the first attempt there, but I don't know if there's any conspiracy behind all this or not. We live in such a crazy world. Who knows?
Well, at some point, I think ineptitude converts itself to that they meant to do it. I mean, there's a crossroads where it's so inept, so unlikely that they're that bad, that ineptitude becomes intention. I mean, they don't have to encourage somebody to kill the president. They just don't have to stop them. Yeah, and it's coming to that point that I think there's a lot of reasonable people. I'm reasonable. I don't like conspiracies. But
Neither do I.
But you have to ask yourself, how? I mean, if this would have been the first thing that happened, right, and we didn't have Butler, I would be like, holy crap, they're going to have to do something. They got to figure this out. But 63 days ago, the man was shot in the head. Yeah. And now there's somebody lining up. They're going to film it. And Secret Service is like, oh, yeah, we saw him right over there and we got him. But how'd he get there? They shouldn't. The perimeter should have been tight enough that nobody with a weapon of that caliber can get close enough to fire a weapon of that caliber at the president, former president, future president, maybe. They need to have it cordoned off. That whole golf course should have been cordoned off, and anybody that was playing golf that day should have had to go through, and meet whatever Secret Service criteria you have to meet to play at the same time the president plays.
Oh, I agree 100% there. I was talking to a good friend of mine last night there, and he goes, well, he said, you know what, the thing about it is, he said, all these oligarchs there and some of these other countries said they do not want him to be president again.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, if you saw the interview with Vladimir Putin, he said he greatly preferred Kamala Harris, and her laugh was so lovely.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, Google it.
Oh, okay.
Look at his interview. Yeah, he definitely, yeah. He said that, he likes to work with the current administration, and the current administration is backing, Kamala Harris, so that's what he backs. And plus her laugh was so lovely. and then he smirked.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, where is our sitting president at right now? I've not heard nothing from him since he backed out of the race.
Well, now, he was up in, was it PA the other day? And did you see him put on the Trump hat?
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, where you been, Mike?
I've been in football, I guess.
He got up there with a group of people. I think that it was, I don't know if it was firemen. I don't know who he was, but he was standing there talking, and guy threw a hat up to him, and he picked it up, his Trump hat, and they were all like, put it on. And he put on the Trump 2024 hat. The place went crazy. And, of course, now it's everywhere. And the White House said he did it as a demonstration of unity between the two parties. But I think he did it because he's mad that they kicked him out as president is exactly why I think he did it.
Well, you never know. Either that or he didn't even know what kind of hat he's putting on.
I think if Trump wins, you're going to have Biden come out and go, I beat him once. I would have beat him again. They forced me out. Now you're going to deal with what you got.
I'd like to see that.
Well, me too. I'd like to see that a lot. I just thought it was hilarious.
Oh, that was.
I was telling Tracy though, that is the Joe Biden that people remember before he became vice president and turned into this spineless. He used to be a blue-collar kind of representative when he was a senator. I mean, I didn't like all of his policies, but I always felt like when he said something, I believed it. He just talked normal. He did silly things like that, when he was around his buddies and constituents. He just didn't – he wasn't polished, and he just didn't seem like this lying politician that it's ended up that he seems like today. he usually was for it felt like way back then he was for the working guy. I remember when Barack Obama picked him, I said, I know exactly why he picked him. He picked him for the blue-collar, hard-working people that are worried about putting in a Democrat, because Biden, although a Democrat, a very moderate blue-collar Democrat. And he changed, obviously. It's not who he is anymore.
He has changed there. No kidding.
But it kind of felt like, to me, it's just like the burden's off his shoulders. He's going to go back to doing what he wants to do. And, yep, he put on a Trump 2024 hat, standing right there in front of all the press and everybody. And there you go.
I wonder what Kamala thought of that.
Well, I am sure they were not happy.
I'm sure that him and her both are probably not even eating dinner together anymore.
Well, they say they didn't get along in the first place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They didn't get along in the first place.
Well, nobody's got along with her. She's had a 92% turnover in her staff as a vice president. 92%.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that, when she first started getting into politics there, what was she, she was a prosecutor or whatever, but seen something that when she kind of moved up the ranks there a little bit there, but she was official there, Joe Brown or somebody that's like 20-something years older than her.
Well, yeah, she had an affair with him, slept with him. He was married, and he and her both will tell you that he promoted her probably before she was fit to be promoted, and it was because of their relationship. Hey, if you're watching on TV, there you go. There's Uncle Joe wearing his Donald Trump 2024 hat.
I'm not even. I'm sitting in here in the kitchen on the telephone.
There he is. He's he put it on, and the crowd, they laughed and applauded, and the room went crazy. He was in Shanksville, PA, so.
Oh, okay, then.
Was it a faux pas? Was it just another Joe mess up, or was Joe getting a dig in? I don't know, and we won't know because nobody knows where he went and where he's hiding to ask.
Yeah, you got it there. But I'm going to ask you one more question, and then I'll get off here and run there. Now, I don't know. I must be somewhere watching TV or doing something, not paying much attention there, whatever. Or it's like this lady there that I was up in Union County there, and I was up there to kind of listen in on the case there. I think it was, what's David Earl's, one of his best friends there, the guy, Jake Butcher.
Yeah.
Anyway, and they were selecting the jury process there, and the judge asked this one older lady there, said, have you been paying attention about what's going on there with Jake Butcher? And she said, well, I ain't exactly been up under a rock. But that's maybe what I've been. But what I was going to ask there, I don't know what you're talking about with this letter you got.
I got
somebody wrote you a love letter? Or?
No, I got an anonymous letter from somebody inside the Anderson County School Systems Administration. Just detailing, corruption, accusations of a lot of stuff going on.
Was it just because you're doing your job?
Well, it was
out here on the news that everybody needs to know about.
Well, it was somebody that was encouraging me to continue because they feel like the administration's trying to stifle it or trying to stop it, trying to hide it. Stuff like Greg Deal retired, right?
Got already retired.
Oh, he retired, got his full retirement package, and then they hired him back as a consultant for 180 days. Stuff like that.
Wow.
So, just things like that the letter was showing, dictating, talking a lot about stuff that went on inside the school. Made a blanket statement that changing the grades and all that was not just something that happened, but it's something that was encouraged, that they know about, that they do, that's still going on according to this. I don't know. This is what I said Friday. I said that I had the letter. I said that it was about the schools, and I don't normally read a letter that's not signed. You know, I just don't feel like doing it. I read the letter, and from reading it, I could tell without fail it's from somebody inside the system. I don't know if what they were telling me is all the truth, but I know a lot of the stuff that they said was accurate in so much of Anderson County schools, Anderson County school systems. So what I did is I asked Friday, I said, you guys tell me. I don't usually give credence to anonymous letters, but I'll read it if you want me to. I won't if you don't. I'll leave it at that. And so I had a number of texts asked me to. I think Wilson and a couple other people called in and asked me to read it, and so I read it. I'm not going to post it, but I did make a request that the person that did write it tell me who they are, and I'll keep it confidential. I have a number of people inside the school systems that tell me things on a weekly basis that are frustrated beyond belief at the things that are going on, and that will be willing to testify at some point, come forward. If there's ever a criminal, you know, if we ever get that far and the sheriff and them get their investigations done, I know there's people that say, if it don't turn up this, I'll bring it to you and show it to you, and you can ask the sheriff why he didn't turn it up, or you can ask the state why they didn't, or what have you. And so I believe that will happen if they don't find these inconsistencies, if they are truly inconsistencies going on. But that said, I asked them to come forward, and I'd keep their name anonymous. To date, that hasn't happened. Sunday, though, I was told that someone knows who it is, and they will. They are going to tell me. They are going to acknowledge it, but they haven't yet. We'll see.
Well, I don't know. I guess as just listeners and or whatever, there people that want to know there. It's taken so long there. I don't know. It just sort of feels like, well, we keep this quiet there. Maybe we can sweep it under the rug a little bit there, and everybody will forget about it.
Well, I'll tell you, just standing from the outside looking in, and some of the things I've seen without making accusations, I don't think that Anderson County school systems should have husbands and wives, children, nieces, nephews, parents, all working together. It just can't. Nepotism. You know, some people say, what's Anderson County? Everybody's related to everybody. Well, maybe. A lot of us are related. But over and over, look it up and see, we've got married couples. I mean, Dan Jenkins and his wife work together.
Right.
We have policies about that. It's just, so who said it's okay to break the policy? Oh, the school board. They waived it. Well, why? And who gives them rights to change it? There's a reason we have those kind of rules, because guess what? It doesn't matter. A husband and a wife, a mom and a dad, kids, you don't react the same to your family as you might to someone else. Now, we say we do, but we don't. So
did they not change the policy there inside the courthouse with nepotism?
I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I can tell you this. As we speak right now, there are husbands and wives, moms that have kids working there, or, you know, family. There's family all working together in the same place. That, you know, closely related family. I'm not talking about your fourth cousin removed. You know, I'm talking about your wife or your husband or your kid or your nephew, you know.
Well, you know, I mean, you don't treat family like you would somebody else, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you're harder on them, sometimes you're easier on them, but you definitely make a difference whether you want to or not.
Yes, sir. But maybe they'll come forward. Well, you said you wouldn't tell who it was if it did.
Well, I wouldn't unless it comes to a point where there's accusations made that could hurt somebody. You know what I mean? If these accusations are made and they're erroneous, you want to be able to attribute the responsibility to somebody. If they're made and they are accurate, you need somebody, if it ever moves to that position, that there's an investigation or an arrest or whatever, I think that you need somebody that can stand up and bear witness to it. I would never, ever give a name away without permission to give the name away, but I would definitely encourage any of my confidential sources to come forward when it hits the fan. You know?
Yes, sir.
So,
well, you know, I heard or read something, and maybe it was during all the chaos there at Clinton there, but you know, we used to to get together about every Thursday evening down at Crawdaddy's house, and Greg Dill was one of them that came down there.
Sure.
I always seemed like I liked him, but
I'm not saying anything bad. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying that kind of stuff is what makes people talk about there being impropriety. I'm not saying there's one thing wrong with that. I don't know, but I know he retired. I know he disappeared for a little bit, and now they say that he's back with a 100.
Been wanting to get away from all of it.
Well, and when I retire, I promise you this, guys, when I retire, you probably won't see a whole lot more of me. I'm not going to come back and work.
Yes, unless you're up on the lake or something.
Well, yeah, if I'm up on the lake, you'll see me. And if I can broadcast live, laying on my flopped out like a big whale on the lake, I'll do it. But otherwise, I'm gonna retire if I ever get an opportunity.
Oh, okay then. Well, you got a little ways to go yet.
I got a long way to go.
I didn't realize that you were as old as you are. I'm not saying you're old.
No, I'm old.
When you get up there past 50 there, it's like me and somebody were talking the other day there, and they said, well, look, Mike, you've already went to the top of the ladder, and you're halfway back down now.
Just tell them you're going to bide your time getting down.
Yeah, just don't remind me.
Exactly. I feel you, and I know that, absolutely. So we'll... but I don't know that I would retire and then go back to the same, maybe by being retired, you don't have the same responsibility or have to do it. You can walk out if you're just under contract, but I don't know what the difference is if you're doing the job and getting paid.
Yeah, there you go there. Well, Ron, I've enjoyed talking to you, brother. You enjoy the rest of your day. Looks like it's a pretty nice day outside there, and we'll catch up another program this week sometime.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you.
Okay. See you, brother.
See you, brother. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Beautiful day that the Lord has made outside. I hope you have the opportunity to enjoy it. Our telephone number is 865-457-1380. I'll give you, looks like 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes exactly. And I'll come back with you, and we will open the phones and talk. Well, wait a minute. Let me see here. Somebody's already here. No sense in doing that. Well, I can talk to them. Good morning. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, good morning.
This is Rodney.
Hey, Rodney, what are you doing, pal?
I ain't doing nothing, buddy. Hey, I just got a little comment about the president thing. I just want people to understand something. We got a man out there. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like him, but he's already been shot, okay? And it's only by God's hand that his head was turned, or he would be dead right now. And now they've done found somebody that if they hadn't spotted him, he would be dead right now. But ever since he's been president, they've hounded him and hounded him and hounded him. Tried to find stuff wrong with him. He still wants to be president to make the country great. He don't want to make the country great for his profit. He don't need money. He don't need fame. He don't need fortune. I truly believe that his heart is in for the country. Or why? I mean, I would say forget it.
Absolutely.
The likelihood of him surviving 4 years is very high.
Unlikely.
For him to survive it.
Yeah.
Either by health or getting shot. So why would you want to be president if you didn't love your country?
I agree.
Not a politician, so he's not got his hand out or not got his hand in other people's pockets. And he's been hounded. If that was your work, if you got treated like that on your job, would you want to continue doing your job?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, so his heart's in the right place. It's just he lets his mouth overload his butt. You know what I'm saying?
I do. Yep.
But there's a lot of people like that, you know.
Yeah.
But they just don't. I would rather know how somebody feels out front and their personality than for them to be hiding it behind me and I not know the real person. We all know he's got a big mouth. We all know he's rude. He's a bully. Maybe that's what the country needs right now, to take care of some of this crap that's going on.
I agree.
I'm talking about the Democrats. I'm talking about overseas.
I agree.
Standing up to them nuts over there that's fighting for stuff that they're never going to own because you don't own anything in this world. You're just here by God's grace. And then when you're gone, you know, my grandpa told me a long time ago, son, you don't own nothing in this world. You don't even own your body. So why is everybody fighting over everything when they don't need to?
No. I agree, Rodney, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Why would a man, they say, oh, he's going to do it to better himself. Well, he didn't do it to better himself. In fact, he's way worse off now than he was when he went in. I mean, he spent millions of dollars on lawsuits and everything else. He gave his business to his kids, put it in a trust. He don't even run his businesses anymore.
Well, you got to understand, what's his motivation? It ain't greed. It ain't money. It ain't greed. It ain't, I mean, you know, he's got everything. He could stop right now and be the happiest man on earth if he wanted to.
And it's not power.
We believe that he wants to turn the country around.
Yeah. And
that's just the way it is. And I hope all the good old boys and the rednecks get out and vote for him.
I love it. Me too, buddy.
All right.
All right. I'll see you, pal.
That's all I got to say, buddy. I'll see you.
Thank you, Rodney. Bye-bye. It just reminded me, he said that. Tracy and I bought a car here recently, and I was buying it, and I was in talking to a person, and I guess like the manager of the dealership came out. And he was like, nice to meet you. He said, you have a ranch or a farm? I said, no. I was down in Atlanta. I said, no. And he said, well, you know, I see the belt buckle and the boots, and you kind of got that Yellowstone thing going on. I said, well, I've been dressing like this long before Yellowstone. And I said, no, I'm not a farmer, and I'm not a rancher. I'm just a redneck. And he laughed. And it's true. Raised, proud of it. Here we are. And so, hopefully, all the farmers, ranchers, and rednecks get out and cast their vote to better our country. And in my opinion, that's Donald Trump. Now, not everybody agrees with me, I'm sure. Most everybody around here does. Most everybody in this part of the country, this part of the state does. I think all but 2 counties are red. That's probably Shelby and Davidson. But everything else right now is about a 60-40, 70-30. I know I've heard people say Anderson County is split, and it might be when you include Oak Ridge into it. But still, to date, thus far, when you look at the margins of victory Congressman Fleischman puts up, when you look at the margins of victory that our Republican presidential candidates put up, yeah, Anderson County's still red. So a lot of people believe like I do around here, I hope, and many of them don't. And they're my friends, too. It's okay. It's okay they're wrong. I'll take this break, which is the 2-minute break I was going to take a minute ago. And then I'll come back and wrap up or talk to you. Thousands of people just like you have visited Way to Go Weight Loss and are losing weight. Here's Mark Bird from Friendsville.
Hi there, my name is Mark. I'm from Friendsville, Tennessee. I'm 50 years old, and back in November, I finally got tired of the after-lunch wall, no energy, kind of a brain fog, just want to go take a nap. So I ventured over into Way to Go Weight Loss. Dr. Smith and his staff, after some consultation, we started the semaglutide for me, a Mega Burn, and a B12. So I done each shot 1 time a week, and by the middle of February, I was down 62 pounds, energy level through the roof, feeling good. Started going to the gym again, went from 309 pounds to 247. I am now, since I've been going to the gym, started building muscle mass. Highly recommend going to Way to Go Weight Loss. At least talk to Dr. Smith and the staff and see if it works for you. It is working wonders for me.
5 locations in East Tennessee. Call 865-219-8650, 219-8650, or visit waytogoweightloss.com.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's time to get started on those projects you've been planning, and Ace Hardware in Clinton has what you need to get started. Whether you need tools, paint, lawn and garden equipment, or just about anything else you're needing for your home, the friendly pros at Ace Hardware are here for you. Ace Hardware is a proud supporter of the Clinton Dragons. Ace Hardware, 929 North Charles G. Severs Boulevard in Clinton, 865-457-1478.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Did you know that a lot of con
contractors are hiring people from out of town with no guarantee of their qualifications. Are you tired of going through temp services and getting unskilled labor? Keep jobs local and keep money in-state. Partner with Local 102 for all your mechanical job needs. Skilled labor that's always improving with state-of-the-art training. Let Local 102 be the job source for the best in plumbing, pipe fitting, welding, and HVAC. Visit ualocal102.org to learn more about Local 102. Your goals equal our goals.
All right, guys, enjoy your day today. Thank you very much for hanging out with us, being with us. I hope that you'll stick around here. We got lots going on today. Classic hit country music all day long, trading time, prime time. Tomorrow, it's the OEB Sports Talk. Jasper Young and the crew all here, live and in living color, hopefully with you. I'll be here. Well, I don't know if I'll be here in the building or not. I might be. I'll be listening, that's for sure.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12. Or listen live online at WYSHradio.com. And remember, if you have a question, comment,